Hi YouTube, this video is about my sexuality. Like most people, my sexuality was a journey, so I'm gonna say the journey started around 4th grade. That was when we had our first computer for a couple years. I had gotten, pretty comfortable with the internet, learned how to type with more than 2 fingers. Everyone had noticed that I had kind of gotten attached to it, so as long as no one else needed the computer for any reason, I could pretty much go on whenever I'd liked, more or less unsupervised. I say more or less because the computer was in my parents' room. So I'm in the 4th grade and it's in the 90s and pop-up ads are everywhere. I mean everywhere. It was like someone dropped a giant vat of glitter all over the entire internet, and it didn't matter where you went, it didn't matter what you did, it didn't matter how hard you tried to clean it, you could not get rid of it. So here's little 4th grade me on my first email account being like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. And I see this little link that says virtual fortune cookies, and I am astounded. It's like a fortune cookie except on the computer. This sounds like the coolest thing. So I go up and I click it, and titties and ass, ass and titties, titties and ass and titties and ass and titties and ass, ass, ass. You see where I'm going here. There, at the ripe age of however the fuck young I was in 4th grade, I discovered pictures of naked women. No, wait, I'd definitely seen pictures of naked women before. I have 3 older brothers and I'm nosy. But this was the first time I had seen naked women and hadn't tried to make up little stories on how they had lost their clothes or reasons why they seemed to be perfectly fine with wearing hats and shoes but not underwear. Combine that with the romance novels I found on my mom's room and then stole, I was a pretty pervy child. But I mean, that's what everyone was doing. There were naked women in movies and TV shows and magazines. Everyone was allowed to look at naked women as long as you were in elementary school. I didn't realize that a lot of people had a correlation between people they liked and people that they liked to see naked until about a year later. One of my cousins had come up and talked to me about how sometimes girls dated other girls. She treated it like it was a very serious matter. So I tried to take it as if it was a very serious matter. But really I didn't see what all the fuss was about. But then I thought about it. My cousin is a girl who likes girls. My aunt is a girl who likes girls. What if I'm a girl who likes girls? That would be so much better, wouldn't it? I mean, boys are stupid and they never like me back. I could just give up on boys and then always like girls. That sounds like a flawless plan, doesn't it? In fact, it sounds like a very similar plan I had in 2nd grade when I decided I wasn't going to like white boys anymore. I remember standing at the top of the slide and looking down at my classmates and thinking this is a very important and resounding moment that will change my life. And then I went down the slide, thought that was a good moment, and then continued to constantly have crushes on white boys. It didn't go much too differently a couple years later when I looked around my classroom and thought, no, I don't like any of these girls, and continued to constantly have crushes on white guys. And that was it. For the rest of my life, that was the moment that I went back to. I thought I could like girls, but I haven't, so I don't. Then I watched this movie called But I'm a Cheerleader. It is super hilarious, and Rufio's in it playing a gay football player, so you should totally watch it. And at the beginning, the main girl has this intervention with all of her friends and her family, and they're like, hey, look, you're gay. Exhibit 1, you're a cheerleader. Exhibit 2, you're gay. And she's all, no, 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 no. Everyone has posters of girls. Everyone looks at magazines. It's totally fine. I'm not a lesbian. And then Rufio's character goes, yeah, everyone looks at those things, but you only assume that they're thinking what you're thinking when they look at those pictures. But they're not. And oh my goodness, if you watch that scene and you are not slapped in the face with your gayness, then congratulations on your heterosexuality, because fuck, did that stay with me. I don't like girls, but I do like girls. No, I don't like girls. Obviously I like girls, but I don't like girls. What's the difference? And it turns out doing some research doesn't actually help anything, because a funny thing there, sexuality, really fucking complicated. Because apparently a large amount of women who identify as straight have fantasies about other women. So was I one of those people? Was I one of those weird poser, like, half bisexuals? Also things about the psychology of porn and how men watching straight porn, they get off on the guys being aroused just as much as the girls being aroused. And that's not to mention the whole, like, intersex and transgender and asexuality blah 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 confusion. And on a lot of those places where I've been researching, they've been saying, don't worry about labels, just like who you like and no one will care. Well, I'm sorry, but I do worry about labels. I mean, not labels that other people put on me, because fuck them. I mean labels that I put on myself, things that make me me. Because I like to really identify with my labels. I don't even really like checking the little African American thing on surveys when it asks me what my race is, because I am so much more than that, and I don't feel like that's the only thing that I identify as. Usually when people ask me what my sexual orientation is, I say that I'm straight, but inside my head I have a little asterisk at the end that leads to a little fine print that says terms and conditions may apply. And as fun as a visual that is, I didn't want to have an asterisk on my label. I want to have an exclamation point. After weeks of having internal spats of sexuality and identity crises, I came to an epiphany. I realized that I was still clinging to that little 4th grade me, thinking that, oh, I can't like girls because I don't have a crush on a girl. I told myself over and over again that that was the dumbest logic I could possibly have. It was like when I said that I didn't like black people because I didn't find any black people attractive, until one day I did. It's like saying because I've never had a crush on anyone who's Asian, I'm never going to have a crush on anyone who's Asian ever again for the rest of my life. That's stupid. And on top of all that, I had a crush on a girl. I just didn't talk to people about it, so I didn't think about it all the time. I've had crushes on tons of people in my lifetime. I can't think of all of them. But I did have a crush on a girl. So there it was. It was all out there. All of the confusion, weirdness that I had been having inside of my head all clicked into one giant puzzle piece that spelled duh. You can stop pulling your hair out. Everything's going to be okay. And though I admit that the pansexuality flag is a lot prettier, I think right now I'm going to stick with what I have. Because I'm finally the thing that I thought I could never be. The shining beacon of sexuality. Put it on a name tag and I'll slap it on my chest. Hi, my name is JT and I'm bisexual.